Hello, hello, I'm Antoine Mikhtarian, and this is a guitar by Orton Guitars. So before I start, I have to say that this is a sponsored video since I got the guitar from the brand owner himself, and the way this video is going to pan out is I've composed a few music moments with this guitar that you will get to hear so that you get a feel for how this guitar sounds in my hands, and at the end I will share some of my thoughts on it from the experience I've had recording with it and playing on it. Orton Guitars is a brand new guitar brand from Sweden that I got to know thanks to my wonderful guitar tech Marcus Heidarsson from Heidarsson Guitars. He's saved my ass many times and I thank him for it. And it turns out that that wonderful guy is also responsible for the quality check of Orton Guitars. He knows what he does, and it's great that between the factory and the owner there's a guy who knows what he's doing and makes sure that before the guitars get to the owner's hands it has a proper setup and it's basically ready to rip. So that's super duper cool. Spec-wise, on a first glance, it's a pretty classic instrument in the sense that it's maple neck, maple fretboard, basswood body, 25.5-inch scale, 22 frets. The pickups are Orton's own pickups, as you see, configuration humbucker, single humbucker, 5-way switch, 1 volume, 2 tones, a tremolo arm that I haven't used because I'm not used to tremolo anymore. And instead of doing a half-assed tremolo thing for this video, it's just a vintage tremolo, so it goes down, but it doesn't go up. And if you're into tremolos, you will know more than me on the subject, but you know that it's there. Also gold hardware, and you have the matching headstock tuners. It's not locking tuners, but they look great anyway, and they work well anyway also. Bolt-on. From this description, it's a very classic instrument, but it has one specific fact that it was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And it's that it ships with 8 to 38 string gauge, which is pretty uncommon. The guitar is as smooth to play and as painless to play as possible, and it goes hand in hand with the great setup from Mr. Heidarsson. So yeah, that's worth mentioning. Thinner strings. Now, between the noodling that you do whenever you get a guitar, as well as composing, recording, and doing everything necessary for this video, I've spent quite some time on the guitar. So now I'm going to give my opinion. So this means that it's my opinion. And if you happen to own an Orton guitar and disagree, well, feel free to express yourself properly in the comment section. This is the moment where most things are just personal preference, but they can maybe give you some hints on how the guitar would feel in your hands, basically. One thing that I really like a lot with this guitar is how the neck feels. It's a C-shaped neck. It feels, I don't have big hands. I always have to point that out, but they are quite small. But it's okay, you know. You don't have to be ashamed if you have small hands. And so, even though it's a pretty chunky neck, I think it feels great. So that is a big plus for this guitar. I said it once, maybe twice. Here comes the third time. The fact that it has a super duper great setup from the get-go is just wonderful, because sometimes you get a guitar, you're super duper excited, you're like, oh yes, I bought this wonderful guitar. The strings are like 100 meters from the fretboard and it's unplayable, and most of the times you need either to redo a setup yourself or bring it to the guitar tech. So I think that's a very big plus, that you get a great setup from the get-go. Also, the guitar is super lightweight, so I guess that goes with the whole trying to make the guitar comfortable type of mentality from the brand, and it works. The only problem is that it's so light that it's a bit neck heavy. Like, I tend to prefer heavier guitars with heavier body. And also, when recording, I realized that if you are into the heavier side of music, it tends to be a bit sensitive to noise. So on a final note, I would say that this is a solid instrument if you are into everything from pop, blues, even classic rock. You see it from even the looks and everything, that they are aiming for that classic market. So being that I'm a 7-string metal guy that likes to make noise, I'm probably not the target audience for this thing. However, I must say that it handled my craziness very well. If you have bursts of extreme music, it will handle it. If you want to know more about Orton Guitars, feel free to check the link in the description, where you will find, hopefully, you will find the link to their website, and that way you get to see their clever website, which looks really cool, and more info and more detailed specs and everything. Well, that's all for me. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'm leaving the frame. Oh, it's the end of the video.